I just came back from my run, and after that, I did my yoga and I channeled this amazing message, which was mostly a learning that I had for myself, which is that we have both the guru, as in the teacher, and the student within us. And the more we're able to activate these two, our life is literally sorted because we have this inbuilt navigation system that we don't always use when it's required, and we also have the ability to put in the destination, right? We don't always use that ability. This learning came to me when I was sharing my insights with someone from last few days. So I've been exploring and experimenting with new friends, and it has been not so smooth because I'm learning what I don't want and what I want. And it's not always as direct and linear as it sounds, because our emotions are involved and we have to navigate through our emotions. The thing is, all of this becomes really easy, not really easy, but simpler and easier when we are allowing the guru within us, which is really grounded, which is the observer, to help us navigate through things, to help us see what our intuition is telling us, to help us see the same scenarios from a more expanded perspective. Because the more you expand out, the more you're able to detach, and faster you're going to get your learning from things. And the second part of us is the student who is willing to learn, right? A lot of times, because of our ego mind, we're not even open to receive a learning from something, and we either make someone or something wrong to make ourselves feel better, or right to again make ourselves feel better. When we are able to practice being a student of listening to our intuition slash guru, we'll be able to build our life on our own terms faster, because you're not only guiding yourself, but you're also listening to that inner guidance. And this dance between the two makes life juicy. This is the actual juice of life. I love the moon behind me. I love it so much. Oh God. I love the unplanned videos because they quite literally come from the heart. And I am just so grateful that last year specifically, I played this dance out the most of being my guru and also being the student, right? Because we have both. And while we were growing up, we were told that there is someone outside of you who's probably elder to you, who knows more, who knows better, because they have more experience, they've seen it all. Especially parents say that too, right? Just because they want to protect us, they say that we know more, listen to us. Rarely any of us were really taught to see within to get that guidance, because what works for you, what's true for you, can never be known by someone else. People have some ideas about it, but they don't know a truth. Also, because they come from a state of bias, right? They have biases for their own selves. I mean, how can they provide you with this completely unbiased state? It's a myth. Even when parents say that we are completely unbiased and we'll give you unbiased advice, that's really a myth. One cannot be unbiased. Even as a coach who taps into a state of shunya very often, like every day, I am very well aware that one part of me will always be biased towards my family. I will always have that extra protective mechanism for my family, right? No matter how much I tap into the state of nothingness for them, which I do, but still there will be moments when I will be biased. So now, how do you really activate the guru in you, and how do you really activate the student in you? Now, first of all, we have been that in our life already, especially when we're kids. We're so pure, the consciousness is so pure because it's not polluted yet. It does not have too many filters. We knew, without anyone telling us, we knew that there is something in us which is giving our answers. There is something in us which is asking the questions. you know the more you're able to really go back, find these evidences, play that in your mind and really tap into those emotional states, the more you will feel confident as an adult that if I've done that as a younger version of me, I can do that as an adult as well. And we have some memories which are so clear in our minds, those memories of pure knowingness. I remember one moment exactly where I was sitting. I was sitting on a floor with my scrapbook, and I had this very clear vision that I'm gonna have a house of, this house where the stairs go from middle to the first floor. And I think that came from a serial my mom used to watch, and I used to watch it with her. And it was just inspired from there because I really loved those stairs. And the funny thing is, the second house my parents built, that was the exact same staircase that I envisioned as a tiny little kid. And I love the fact that my imagination was more with real estate because that's what I'm inclined towards. Um, when I think of that memory, I feel so good that the programming is already there. We stopped using it. That's a different thing. We stopped using it, but the programming is already there. So that means you don't have to do the work of putting that program in your system because it's already there. It's about you using it, how to really start using it. So we're talking about that part of you which is a guru, right? Grounding yourself every day can be a game changer in this, because throughout the day, our conscious mind is so active. There are people around us, there's noise in our life which keeps us distracted from that grounding, right? So it could look like, different people have different ways of grounding. For someone, it's dancing. When they dance, they lose everything and they're literally in the moment. For somebody, it's painting. For somebody, it's journaling. I think for me at the moment, it's being in water. I love that. I just feel like I hit another dimension altogether. When I'm swimming, I'm in water. It's running for me. I love running. And it used to be meditation. Now I don't meditate as much. Like I wake up and I tap into state of, I don't know how to like put it in words, but the longer I'm able to stretch the time period of no thoughts, that I call that my meditation. I don't really meditate as much at the moment because for me all of these things are meditation, and especially dancing. And also these days I'm singing a lot again. I used to sing a lot earlier, then I stopped singing when I came to Bali, and now I've started singing again, and I love singing. I'm not a singer, but I love singing, so grounding yourself does not mean that you have to go to a mountain and meditate. That could be your thing. It's all about you checking with yourself what is it, and it can change also. The more you're able to ground yourself, the more your intuitions will come on surface, right? We're not getting into how to listen to intuition because that's the student's part. The more you have these moments of no mind, the more you're able to, your intuition is like, yo, I got space to come up, I got space to communicate, to connect with you. And I remember a time when this was the most overwhelming thing for me. I could not stop my thoughts. It's just continuous practice of tapping into a state of stillness, no thoughts, and you really got to learn it from someone, right? Like whatever, like learn it from your friend, coach, it doesn't matter, but you got to learn it and you got to keep practicing it. Without practice, it's just gonna be a fun thing you do. Like it doesn't become a state. You don't start tapping into the state. It's just something. It's like an action, just like you cook. Meditation is just something that you tick off in your to-do list. Nothing wrong with that. We all start from there, but the goal is to get into state of stillness, rather than act of stillness. The second is, how do you become the student? The thing is that you already are a student because you have the ability to question and be curious. And if you're able to just use that childlike energy to question everything, life will get so sorted. As kids, we used to asked so many questions to our parents. Why is sky blue? Why blah 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 blah. You get the point. And then we eventually stopped doing that for whatever reason. Could be parents telling, don't ask too many questions, or in school we were literally given set of questions. We didn't even have control over what questions we were gonna ask. Um, Hence, the curious mind is like, it just got dead. Rather than dead, I would say stagnated. It's not used. The more you start questioning, for example, when I get on a call with this client, why do I feel elated? What about this aligns with me? When I get on a call with this client, I don't feel as elated, right? As a student, you're asking a question and you're being willing to receive the answers from your first part, which is the guru. Things that I have been questioning these days. I'm questioning things every day, which is, I love it. Now I have built a muscle for that. Things I'm questioning these days: what kind of people do I want to invite in my life? Why did I not enjoy being in company of this person? What did I like being in company of that person? When I go for a run, I go for a run in the morning and then in the evening. Sometimes my body just don't want to go beyond a point, you know. So I ask myself, what is that about, so that I can learn more about my body and its patterns. If something needs to be, if a pattern needs to be broken, I'll look into that. If my body is communicating something, I will follow that intuition, right? But the first thing is asking that question in the first place. Because if you're absent, or if you're really following somebody else's say, then you wouldn't ask a question in the first place. You will try to push. It works till the time it works, and we're not in the game of making things happen just somehow, by doing things that you don't like. They do not satisfy your soul. We're not in that game. So the more I remember during pandemic, I used to write questions. I used to write questions every day, sometimes 20, 30, 50 questions. Just questions, nothing else, being willing to receive the answers. And when I go to India, I'm gonna get all my diaries. I have like so many journals that I filled over the years. I'm gonna somehow digitize them. And I would really like to pull up that particular section of my journal when I used to only write questions. What will it take for me to attract aligned clients? What will it take for me to start receiving love? What does a life living on my own terms look like? Now, these are such open-ended, possibility-oriented questions, and just asking these questions used to put me in a really awesome momentum. I used to feel so elated just by asking these questions, because when you're asking a question, you've gone beyond a conclusion. Because most of the conclusions, they're not even yours. Somebody else gave it to you, and not even yesterday in the primitive years. I've given you two really easy ways to be your guru and be the student. And the more you're able to dance with these two, you become unstoppable with knowing what works for you and knowing how you're going to make it happen. And a lot of times things come to you when you're being your guru and you're being your student. Things come to you because you've become that magnet. First you're in your stillness, and then you're in question. You literally become a magnet to whatever you want, whatever direction you're setting for yourself. And this is why I really love working with people to what is that word, ignite this in them, because I've been a student of a lot of coaches who would not teach people how to be your own guru, because then they would have this insecurity that their shop will close, without realizing that if you empower people, it brings you way more business. It's natural for that to happen, because not only would the client come back to you with 10x goals, but they would bring their family and friends, because they see how they're getting more independent, and they're building a strong foundation with building life on their own terms. They don't need you. They they start choosing you, but they don't need you. And the feeling of needing someone versus choosing someone is entirely different, so you get more business when you are in the game of empowering people to know their own truth. And it's not a capsule that you can give to people, it's a process. Not everybody chooses it. Hence, I work with very limited people. It's a choice because and I'm not saying that the massy services are not beneficial. They are, but that's not something that I enjoy doing. I love seeing people shift in one call. How it starts, how it ends, boom, completely different. I love that. And that snowballs into something bigger for them, which also translates into their loved ones' lives. So, yep, I'm starting a program called Power Group. We're going to have 4 incredibly committed people in it who've chosen something bigger and they really want to make it happen. It includes money, it includes a higher self concept, self esteem, self image, in which also translates into more confidence, happiness, like true happiness coming from within, joy, a lot of joy and fun in life, and also creative expression, things we want to do but we haven't done them yet just because, wow, right? And a lot more. We all have different goals, but in the end, it's all about who are we being while making them happen, right? So, 4 people super committed to something that they want to build in their life, something bigger than them. And I want to end the year with those 4 people in a way that they got everything that they wanted in this entire year. And moreover, they're going to start the next year with a completely high vibe. It's such a different reality when, and I know year shouldn't even matter. Like, time is such a made up thing, but it is made up. It is super ingrained in our head. So hence it puts you in a faster momentum when you end the year with this feeling of, fuck yes, I took control, I took charge, and I got everything done that I wanted. I am a much more evolved version of me. A lot of my triggers are gone, a lot of my anxiety is gone, a lot of my stress factors are gone, and I'm more present, more, chilled out, relaxed, happy, joyous, excited, in action, inspired actions. And moreover, I got a lot of results in the process of becoming more of me. And when you start the next year with this state, and I can say this because not only I have done this so many times, my clients have done that. And it also sets a foundation for years to come. And we don't always realize this, but as from a zoomed out perspective, compound interest, it compounds into something way, way more. And when people ask me, how did you create such a different life from what you were living earlier? This is my answer. I just kept putting in 1% every day, which compounded into literal reality shifts. At this moment, I am at weekly reality shifts. Like every week, I know I would have outgrown my earlier version every week, and I love it. And you also learn to do that effortlessly, so that it's not something that you are stripping your skin off every week and then new skin grows. Not at all. Like, as you practice this more and more, it becomes effortless. So, how to join the Power Group? So by the time this video gets uploaded, if there are more slots, you will find the link for a discovery call in the description. And if you want me to cover any other topic that maybe you are struggling with or you want more insights in, then you can let me know. I'll make a video on it.